everyone. It is the regular city council meeting for Monday, May 8th, 2023. I will call the meeting to order. We could all stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have roll call, please, Cheryl?
J.T. Thompson.
Yes.
Richard Peterson.
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes. Okay, number 4, approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Anything regarding that?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda that was submitted.
Second. And roll call, please.
J.T. Thompson.
Yes.
Richard Peterson.
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes. Okay, number 5, citizen public comments. Guessing we have some comments. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. We allow 2 minutes per person for a total of 15. So give or take, we'll let you say. So whoever wants to go first, if you want to stand up or come up, however you want to do it.
My name is Angela Betts. Chandler, that's his mom. Chandler was involved in a 4-wheeler accident January 27th here in town. He had gotten drunk at a local house and attempted to ride his 4-wheeler home. Only made it about 3 blocks when he crashed. Our main concern is the progress of the investigation that's supposedly ongoing and the investigation that was done the night of the accident. I realized at the time it was simply an accident, but since Chandler has died, at the time it was an accident with a minor involving alcohol. This is the police report we got, which amounted to 6 sentences and a tiny little picture. The police report has conflicting statements with where the 4-wheeler's at as opposed to what the ambulance report tells us. The ambulance report tells us there was a fireman on scene. The fire chief tells me there was no fireman on scene. We have our local ambulance, the nurse put in the report to the emergency room that Chandler had previously attempted suicide, which was incorrect also. That is not a fact. Chandler previously attempted driving while drunk on the day after Christmas and ran into a pole and got a DUI. She listed it as a suicide in his hospital record. There's no body cam footage of the accident, and I mean, they explained to us why. I just don't understand. We don't have a body cam that's charged the entire shift or a backup that's plugged in, or do you see what I'm saying? He didn't have it on because it was charging. There's no statements from the eyewitnesses. There was an eyewitness on scene that rendered aid to Chandler before the police got there. There's nothing about him or his statement on here, what happened. Nobody looked at ring cams, nobody looked at nothing. It wasn't even investigated as an accident. It was, this is what we got here in the middle of the road, and that's it. Like I said, we requested photos. We were told there are photos, but we weren't allowed to see them. We talked to the county attorney. He says there's an investigation ongoing also. We have heard nothing, no updates. When we call, at one point we called to check on progress, and we got told that they were busy dealing with Colin Cash. They don't have time to deal with this. What the fuck does what does Colin Cash have to do with my son's death investigation? Nothing.
And why is a cop telling us about Colin Cash?
It's just everything from the get-go. I understand
It's
Chief Miller wasn't on duty that night. He wasn't on duty that night, and I'm just saying, but it was very, very poorly done, in our opinion. And some of it is too late. It's past the fact. You can't go back. The ring cams are gone. You can't get it back. Our point being is that night, everybody knew the severity of Chandler's head injury on the ambulance. Everybody on the scene knew, because they relayed it to us. And still, it was still barely investigated, like a kid fell off a 4-wheeler. We still haven't, nobody has gotten a ticket for contributing. Nobody has, as far as we know, even been talked to.
Oh yeah, they were talked to. They were I heard the other day that everything's gonna be all right.
Okay, well, apparently they're saying that there's nothing gonna happen, but that's rumor. I forgot what I was gonna say. After Addie died, Jackie turned over Addie's phone and said that there was evidence on the phone of who's buying the alcohol, who's doing this. We feel if somebody would have looked into it then, maybe Chandler wouldn't have been dead. Maybe the guy would have said no when Chandler asked him for the 100th time to buy him alcohol, and he did it again. Maybe they wouldn't have let him sit there at the house and drink, which we have proof. We had photos of them drinking there previously. They've been there time and time again. They know they can go there to drink, and it's still nothing is being done about it. Nothing. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
Yeah.
I'll give up my minutes. I probably used all of them.
My name is Greg Betts. I was born and raised in this town, just down the street. But everything I've understood on this, the first responder on where supposedly he rolled his four-wheeler was a fireman who was drunk when he responded. I think his name was Atkinson.
I forgot that one.
And number two, he supposedly rolled the four-wheeler. Okay, I've been around four-wheelers all my life. There was no damage done to the four-wheeler to speak of from being rolled. A few scratches on it. You roll a four-wheeler, they said, well, there's the marks on the carrier on the back of the four-wheeler. There's all there. Those marks, I'll guarantee you 110%. I was a contractor. Those marks on that four-wheeler were put there with a metal file. That four-wheeler is sitting down in Steph's garage right now. If you guys want to look at it, I'll show them to you. There's something going on in this town where somebody is backing everybody. And I'll be very honest with you, I live out between Clinton and Goose Lake, and we talked about moving back to this town. And there is no way in God's green earth I would ever move into this town again. This is getting ridiculous. And you got 2 adults serving minors alcohol, and they're drunk. And I'm not saying Chandler wasn't drunk. I will guarantee you 110%. But they let him so-called get on a four-wheeler and drive supposedly home. Number two, Kilbert down at the telephone company said Chandler went by there X amount of miles and he flipped the four-wheeler on the corner. Not true, because there's a lady down there that has video footage. That four-wheeler never went by her house. Enough said. But you guys need to do something, or I'm gonna say I've met the governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds, several times. I will go out to Iowa, out to Des Moines, and I will sit on the steps. I don't care if it takes me a month to get in and talk to her, and something's gonna be done in Preston, Iowa. Somebody needs to wake up and smell the roses.
Emma just posted again on Snapchat on Chandler's birthday, a picture of him rolling around on the floor that night drunk, in the same outfit he was in when he crashed.
so fucking drunk, he never got on that four-wheeler. Never once got on that four-wheeler.
You can't shout.
And it was rolled, but yet they turned around
It's just
and
we
they
have no
drove it
answers.
to wherever your shop is or whatever, and they drove it. There's, the damage to that four-wheeler is nothing. And like I say, you look at that back carrier, the marks on that carrier are done with a metal file. They're not. I've rolled them before. I was young and dumb in my age too.
I don't, are you done? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ange.
I'm not, there's probably nothing you guys can do about it but we want answers. Why? Why was it such a crap job done? Why does it not even matter? He's 16 years old. The cops are aware of this. I mean, we've, again and again and again, I had DHS involved trying to get the underage drinking under control. Nothing, never. He's had so many run-ins with Preston PD before this, before Officer Miller was even working here. Nothing ever done. When he got his DUI, they kept saying, I hate to do this to you, I hate to do this to you. And we're like, do it, we need somebody to do something. Nothing is ever done about it. And now it's too late. It's too late for Chandler.
And why weren't the two guys that were feeding him the alcohol, and I'm talking to you now, been given a ticket and arrested for nothing? They were the ones serving him alcohol. He was a minor.
We totally understand your frustration, and please believe us when we say it's absolutely because it does not matter, because it does. It absolutely does matter. But please understand where we're coming from too, is it is an ongoing investigation. To my knowledge, it's still an ongoing investigation, so our hands are really tied
Yeah,
as far as
we understand that.
what
We're
we
here
can
to-
and cannot say.
Strictly to inform you.
Yeah.
I mean, if your child was dead at 16 with a .24 blood alcohol, drank an entire bottle of Jim Beam sitting at one residence, and they're telling you they don't know he's drunk, and then you get this, how would you feel about that? How would you feel?
I'd ask the officer here, why haven't those two gentlemen down there been given a ticket or arrested for serving a minor alcohol?
Again, I'll go back to the ongoing investigation.
Yeah,
We have
so
to-
that investigation's been going
Is
on
it
for
being
84 days
investigated?
now.
I've been
That's
told,
a little bit ridiculous.
I've been told I was gonna be talked to. I could tell anyone. I could walk into that house. I could pour kinky vodka like it was water. They split a bottle of whiskey with me before I got hospitalized once. Like, nobody's talked to any of us. Any of us could tell you. I probably have proof.
I mean, we have.
I
photo
feel like it's not
evidence.
being
We have-
investigated at all. You could say it's ongoing, but is anybody doing anything?
To my knowledge, and like I said, I'm not
Okay.
directly
there-
involved with it, but to my knowledge, it is.
Is there
I know
any way
that's not the
anybody
answers you
can
guys
look
want.
into it,
Yeah.
or,
Well, we as the council can, obviously talk to the police department. I mean, that's what we have, a police department, right?
Right.
To investigate crime. We can't comment on it,
Right.
ongoing investigation, we can't do it, okay? The investigation is ongoing. As for, your concerns, they're all valid. I mean, I also have a daughter that's in the same class that's probably gonna get questioned too on stuff, so, there's, right now, it's, I can't comment a lot about it, but I can tell you, Angie, it's a sad deal, and it is getting looked into. So, I wish I could talk to you more about it, but I can't.
okay, I understand that, and I guess I just don't understand how you're gonna investigate it when it's been such a crap job from the get-go. But that's fine.
84 days, Ange. That's
It's just-
ridiculous.
I don't know, we just wanna make you aware of the frustrations,
No,
but we're trying to.
Cause I'm about to point to give the kids money to hire a lawyer and sue the city of Preston. I'm about done. 84 days. Come on, almost 3 months. This is getting ridiculous.
It's 3 months, and like she said, basic interviews haven't even been done. Like the girl who Chandler drank with all night, has her phone been looked at? Addie and Chandler's phone were taken with, I gave Chandler's up willingly, but
yeah,
like I said, it's just,
I'm sorry, Ange, I don't have the, like JT said, I don't have the answers right now that you're looking for,
Well,
but
why don't you get
please.
on the cop's butt and have him get his butt in gear?
Again, we will do,
Okay,
but it's
great, we
a
get it.
process.
Alright, time for me to get out. I asked him to handcuff me early, but before I say something,
you can still run your mouth with your hands cuffed.
We appreciate you guys coming in and
Thank
letting
you,
us
Greg.
know, we totally understand the frustration, and, yeah, it's,
I just think
You know,
it's a culture in this town, and it's been for a long time, and it's ridiculous.
it has, I won't disagree with you at all, Angie.
When she owned the restaurant, she admitted on Facebook that she found them over there drinking at least 5 different times when they were supposed to be cleaning after hours. Now that's your damn place of business. Why wouldn't you put a stop to it then?
Every time I've reported anything in this town, not a thing has been done about anything. Every time I've called the cops, I've been made to regret it. They never do anything.
Alright, I guess we've spoken our piece,
Anybody else wanna talk?
I don't think there's anything else we can do at this point. We've talked to PD, we've talked to the county attorney, we're here trying to talk to you guys. I mean, what's our next step at this point? Just sit and be quiet and do nothing? How long do we wait?
Good question, I can't answer that, I can't.
I mean, we're not,
It was kind of rhetorical.
yeah, it's just, it seems, I don't know. Alright. I guess.
I'm sorry, Ange, we don't have the answers you're looking for right now, but please know it is ongoing, and with that said, that's about as much as we can say right now, so I apologize, but I can't give you more.
Alright, well, thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's jump down to, let's go to 6, the consent agenda. I think we have questions, comments, concerns with anything on there. If not, I will ask for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
And second?
Second.
And roll call, please.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Rich Peterson,
Yes.
J.T. Thompson,
Yes,
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Okay, number 7, public hearing on the status of funding for the CDBG, COVID-19 Preston Community Center facility improvements. So I will ask for a motion.
Amanda's here to.
Oh, yeah,
go
yeah,
over.
yeah, I was gonna include her once I got through that.
Oh, okay.
Amanda Dupont is here from ECIA, she's gonna clue us in, but I was told that I gotta open the public hearing and then
Oh,
Amanda,
Excuse me, then she.
then she can say her piece. And so I'll ask for a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, second,
Second.
and roll call, please.
Jason Thompson,
Yes,
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Rich Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, so Amanda, the floor is yours.
I am Amanda Dupont, I'm with ECIA. I am overseeing the community center project until it's done, which I've been told that it is done. I did talk to the roofing company today with some payment stuff, and they're completely done. So I believe it's 100% done. Per the grant requirement, once we get to the 50% expenditure mark, we're required to have a status of funds hearing. We're actually obviously beyond that 50% mark. With these CV grants, the window to complete it was pretty tight. The city of Preston was awarded $77,816 from COVID, CDGB COVID money to do improvements on the community center, the town hall. The contract with ECIA and the city of Preston to administer grant funds was signed on March 15th, 2022, and AIDA released grant funds August 11th, 2022. So an invitation went out to bid November 2nd, 2022, with the bids being due November 16th. Kitchen and Bath Solutions, Kevin Nevers, was the only bid that we received for it, so he was the one that was awarded the project. His bid came in at $102,012. So total with the grant funds, like I said, the total grant was $77,816. $70,742 of that went towards the actual facility improvements. And then the $7,074 went to ECIA to administer the project, with Preston committing a match of $17,685. Total project activity, we're looking at $95,501. So obviously, since the bid came in over that, then Preston covers the remainder for the match part of it. Like I said, we've actually expended all of the money. I'm just waiting for the last invoice from Kevin to get that submitted, and hopefully we'll get that turned around in reimbursement back to Preston soon. In the short time that we've been working on this, I did talk with Sarah Plowman from AIDA, and we will be doing a scheduled site visit on May 18th. That's a Thursday, so next week she'll be coming here. She's in Macokota that day, so she'll be coming here to walk through the community center, take a look at everything that was done, and then meet with myself and Teresa to go over paperwork for a few minutes, and then we'll do a virtual audit paperwork session with her later. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
It's a nice project to get done. It's
It's a long time coming.
Yeah, I need a little work, and the comments we've gotten back are very positive so far, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I came into the project, I was on maternity leave, so I came into the project after it had already started, so I didn't see what it looked like beforehand, but I've seen the finished product. It does look very, very nice, and it's been an interesting ride, I will say, with these COVID funds. We've been lots of ups and downs. Preston, I was never really concerned about. It was a smaller project. I knew we would get it done in the time that we were given, which that time limit has kind of been thrown out the window anyways, but we're all done, so it does look really nice.
Yeah, so it's inspired. I know we had, community members paint the walls, and we talked about, some facade things and stuff, so it's inspired us to, do a few more things hopefully too, and then, I think, the involvement in the community, well, the community always uses it, but it'll hopefully bring more people to wanna use it.
Yeah, and it went very, I would say the project went very smoothly, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
And, keeping everybody informed on what's going on. Teresa and Cheryl have been staying in touch with you, and I think it went very well, so, much appreciated.
Very much.
Anybody have any other questions for Amanda, or?
Oh,
Okay. Do you have anything else, or is that it?
No, that is it. I'm
Okay.
sure I will be back at some point. I'll be talking to you guys about the possible CDGB project with the new development and everything when we get to that point, so I'll be back.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks,
Thank you,
Amanda.
guys. Have a good
Appreciate it.
night.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will, we didn't have any other public comments at all, did we, Cheryl?
No.
Okay, so I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
second.
and roll call, please.
Rich Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Jason Thompson,
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes. Okay, number 8, approve resolution 2022-82, approving financial commitment to Jackson County Economic Alliance. So in your, I don't know if I think it was in your packet, or if not, maybe there was a printout.
Yeah, it was in the packet.
I think she threw it in the packet. Teresa and I had talked about it briefly last week, and we feel like, with everything kind of going on, we do have some decent sized projects, ongoing, and ones that we have wrapped up also. We feel like that they've played a big role in helping us achieve, and so we feel like it's kind of stepping up a little bit more for them isn't a bad thing, to make sure that stays a commodity for the community and for the county as a whole. So we kind of put something on paper. We're at 12. The contribution is 12.5, and then so looking at like a 5-year commitment to get up to the 15,000 mark over those 5 years. So I guess I'll open it up to what anybody else has suggestions or comments. I guess we'll throw them out there, and we can entertain whatever the council feels like moving in the direction of.
Well, I think it's an awesome organization that's helped us out a lot. I think, we've talked in years past what we should contribute, and I think, personally, I think we were probably low on that end for a while, and they've given us a lot of help over the years with, Teresa leaving, and everything we do have going on, like you stated. I think we're gonna need their assistance, and, it's an organization wanting to make sure that they have the funds they need to continue to move forward for, not just our community, but our county, So I was glad to see, if you and Teresa came up with these dollars, I was pleasantly surprised to see that brought forth. I think that's a good contribution from our community. I think we'll get more back in return for those funds, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been a great partner and resource to have.
Yeah, and I think they'll know that we're committing to 5 years, that we're dedicated, and they're gonna get a little bit. They can plan.
It'd be nice to know that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like, okay, I get, Preston's with us for 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
So I kinda like that.
They got budgets they have to figure out, everything else too, to know.
Well,
what's
it's our
contributions
budget,
are
we
coming.
already know that,
Yeah.
you know, going into it, this is what we need to budget, right?
Yeah.
So it's not an every year thing, we already know.
Yeah, and it was something too, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, the sky's the limit on that, but something too, you know, that we felt was reasonable, you know, for both parties on our end and their end too, you know, so felt like that was a good commitment to, you know, to throw their way, so.
Sounds good.
Okay, so unless anybody else has anything or any other suggestions, everybody's good with that, I guess I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution, the 2022 then, or is that supposed to
Yeah,
be 2023?
2022.
2022-82, commitment to JCEA.
Okay, second?
Second.
And roll call, please.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Jason Thompson,
Yes.
Richard Peterson,
Yes.
Matt Peters.
Yes.
Okay, number 9, discuss and consider approving the agreement to terminate contract for police service. So again, this is following up on our conversation from the last council meeting. Teresa has gotten with our lawyer and they have gotten a document together for us to send to Miles that will terminate the contract for our services over there, so. Again, this is just kind of legalities, I guess, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah, and I haven't changed my mind, so I think it's time, just financially, and hiring anybody, we just can't do it, you know, so. I really don't wanna see it go, but that's just where
No.
we're at.
No, the only thing I did visit with the sheriff this afternoon, I says that they do have their speed camera there. If they wanted, they have to have a police or sheriff's department that would oversee that. If the sheriff's department wasn't interested and the city of Preston was, to obviously make revenue from that, to oversee that. So, and I said, I don't know if that's an option with you folks, or if it's just something to wait and see. The sheriff didn't have a lot of knowledge on it yet and was wanting some, so.
Well, I think if Miles wants something like that, maybe that's something they approach us and,
Yeah.
you know.
I'd almost like to see, you know, if we terminate the agreement, see what time capacity looks like first before committing to that.
I just know that's just one thing I guess are really, that's totally up to.
Yeah, I think we can, entertain, but I kinda agree with Adam too, because if we decide to terminate, let's figure out where we stand and stuff, and if they approach us, or if it works out, then let's,
If we got extra
let's,
hours.
let's always be open to opportunities.
I would agree.
Yep, sounds good.
Can I ask a question on this, Bill?
Yeah.
The city of Miles is footing the bill for this camp,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, there's really no out of pocket for them, but based on, obviously there would be creating a revenue when everything is up and running, but they have to have, a police department behind it. They just can't do it as a city, they have to
A
have.
mediator of a sort, legal
Well,
mediator.
they have enforcement.
Yeah.
It's probably under their
And if
ordinance.
the sheriff's department's wanting to stay away from that part of it, because it can be a bit of an issue, but all we would be doing is basically saying yes or no to this, is the citation valid, is it not? And then obviously we would have to I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that they wanna go with this, they may change their mind, do something different, but they have to have some sort of law enforcement. So
You
I
do
guess
that.
I'm just saying, just keep it in the back of your,
Yeah.
yeah, just back in mind there,
Yeah.
and, so.
And there was no rebuttal from the city or the council of Miles to cancel the 2080 agreement?
I don't know if they even know it's,
Uh,
they probably know.
I
All
talked,
right.
after the last council meeting, when we discussed that, I called Danny, the following day and kinda gave him a heads up, and so he was aware, and,
Okay.
yeah, so
And
they.
good, and good for you to do so.
they-
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
And
and,
we don't wanna leave on bad terms.
no, and we're
It's just-
not, and yeah, from our conversation, you know, if it would ever come back up to where it would work out for both parties, I don't think, you know, I don't think there's any hard feelings either way, and, you know, if it would work out that way, I think they would be open to that again in the future, so yeah, I don't know, it's.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I mean, we continue as we have been, and like JT said, we can't.
We got two problems, we don't, it's not, we're not, financially, it's not working, and employees,
Personnel.
personnel,
Right, staffing,
staffing.
you know.
So how does this,
Yeah, how does this actually work? Do we have to,
somebody have to present it, or does a lawyer present it, or how does this get taken to Miles, I guess?
I would imagine it would come from our lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
Our lawyer would send it to them,
I would.
It's already drawn up.
and then they would acknowledge it at a council
Yeah.
We
meeting.
sign it, send it back to Lynch Dallas, and then they in turn send it to Miles.
Yeah,
I will verify that. I think that's probably correct.
yeah, I'm thinking that
Seems
means,
reasonable, yeah.
And we've reached out, the mayor's reached out, so they're aware, and, okay.
yeah, so they're not gonna be blindsided, you know, by getting it in the mail, so.
Well, it's been conversation, you know, for a while
Yeah.
anyway, so it's not like it's spring, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
everybody's been aware of it.
so the last day is.
The last day would be
August
August 15th.
15th.
Yep.
So what do you need from us? You need a motion, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
One quick question, whether it's Bill or JT, help me out here though. But we would still be, August 15th comes, and if there's any active cases that we were involved in yet on that point, how does that work? Does our police force finish those cases out? Or does anything just get handed over to whoever takes over for them at that point? And I guess my question is, if we take those over then, you know, do we charge for hours that it takes to fill those out, because it's still cost?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question for the city attorney. I think that for the number of cases, you know, I'd like to finish them out, or at least get, you know, if it'd be considered a cold case by that point, you know, and then we could turn that over to the county.
See, I don't want us to just drop the bomb all of a sudden.
Right,
you know?
right.
No, we wanna continue that, I mean, we wanna finish out that we gave them good service.
Yeah,
and-
most definitely, yeah. That's-
Well, and it might be something too, where like, you hit August, right, August 1st. You know, if you catch any cases, Bill, anything that's gonna be a lot of time, maybe
Get them to some.
then, like, okay, Bill can start the investigation, but that's gonna get kicked to the sheriff's department. You're gonna have to follow up on it, so hopefully that in those days leading to the 15th, anything after that, you know.
And then they'll know too, that the sheriff's departments, when they're doing any investigation, that if it was something that would be tied to what they're actively doing that was prior to that date, that they'd come to Preston and go, hey, they have the reports. But they also still have access to shieldware, so they can kinda see where those things are.
But yeah, I think it'd be more of a conversation with Bill and the sheriff's department, like, hey, when we get close to this August 15th, I'm gonna have to start, I'll do the initial and get all the information, but someone's
Pass the
gonna
stuff off.
pass the stuff off, it's almost gonna have to,
Yeah.
you know, like, here you go, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, there's not a lot there, you
Yeah.
know? You know, if it's minor stuff, maybe it's something that we just might have to eat, you know?
Right.
So, you know, but you still could get drug into court, you know?
Yep.
And we're just gonna have to pay that, we can't charge miles for a ton.
Part of it, I get it. Yeah, wanna make sure we're talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good question, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could stick them to a bill or not, I mean, they might just say.
I mean, we wanna, so we wanna part on good terms.
Yeah,
And we're still all community here, so.
yeah, we're still gonna want Bill over there at the school now and then doing
Yep.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe we just kind of play it as it goes, you know, here for the next couple months and, you know, see where we're sitting, you know, in July, early August, and hopefully by that time, you know.
You just never know.
Yeah, you know, yeah, things are wrapping up or we kind of have an idea where we're
Summers can
headed,
get
so.
busy, so.
Okay, is any other discussion needed on that?
No,
If not, I will ask for a motion, to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement to terminate the contract for police services with the city of Miles.
Second,
I'll say,
roll call please.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
J.T. Thompson,
yes.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Rich Peterson.
Yes.
Number 10, approve resolution 2022-83, approving Chief Bill Miller as a non-exempt employee. So this is basically, it really is changing nothing except for his salary, title, I guess, however you wanna say it. So he'll be going to hourly.
Yeah, I asked Teresa to put this on and we can discuss this. You know, the thought of getting rid of Miles and then we have Bill's already working over, you know, between that 40-hour and 50-hour range to cover calls, stuff he's got going on. So the thought was, let's just put him back on hourly. Because we're probably gonna need that anyways, moving forward, you know, with just having Bill and some part-timers, you know, so. And Teresa agreed that's probably not a bad idea, so. That's what I wanted, what's, you know,
It makes sense, I mean, if you're, I mean, if Bill's salary, you know, on a 40-hour week, let's say, but then we're asking him to work overtime and stuff, you're splitting it down by that anyway, so. It just makes sense, and you're okay with this, I take it, Bill, right?
yeah, and there might be times, you know, that he only gonna get 40 hours, you know, cause he's just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
quiet week, you know, and then
Yeah.
the next week he might get 45 and, yeah, just,
But when we're asking for overtime, it makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yep.
Yeah, I think for the time being, I don't, you know,
Yeah,
kind of the
there's-
situation we're in, I don't see an issue. You know, if everybody's good with it, I don't see an issue with it, so.
You good with it? Yeah.
Sounds ideal to me.
Yeah.
That's why I wanna make sure we're all on the same page, so we get an opinion.
Well, if I disagree, you can overrule me anyway, so.
Well, maybe.
You can still disagree.
Speak your piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Rich.
Okay, so unless there's any other discussion needed on that, I'll ask for a motion to approve resolution 2022-83.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-83.
Second,
I'll second it.
and roll call please.
Jason Thompson,
Yes.
Richard Peterson,
Yes.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, number 11, approve setting the public hearing for amending the current budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, for May 22nd, 2023. So that'll be our next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, nothing earth shattering, just standard procedure.
We gained some and we lost some.
Yeah.
Didn't come out to a whole heck of a lot, so.
Okay, does anybody wanna make, I need a motion for that date?
I'll make a motion to approve setting the public hearing for amending the current budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, and setting the public hearing for May 22nd, next council meeting.
Second,
I'll second.
and roll call please.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
JT Thompson,
Yes.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Rich Peterson.
Yes.
Number 12, discuss and consider moving forward with the purchase of the treasure trove. So again, that was in your packet. Teresa met with Marie last week, I believe, and they had a discussion, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And they had a discussion, and they had been in correspondence last week. Marie was gonna get with her attorney, and it sounds like all that happened, so it sounds like she would just sell it to the city for $2,000, and then she would go ahead and pass that on to a local fundraising. So there's going to be more with this. This is just basically to get it in the city's hands. We're kind of going to have to wait until we hear back on that abatement with that grant, right, Cheryl? Correct me if I'm.
Yeah, the abatement's gonna happen, I guess, and then, or they applied for the abatement, right?
Yeah, they applied for it, so
Yeah.
until we hear back from that. And then I asked Teresa too about additional costs, you know, to tear down and basically clean the lot. And we're kind of, she wasn't sure on those costs yet. It sounds like it all kind of hinges on this grant and what kind of we hear back from that. So it was my
She just mentioned to
understanding.
me it'd probably be roughly 30 to tear it down,
Okay,
and there should be more grant funding to
okay,
maybe pick up half of it,
yeah.
so.
So the thought about getting in this treasure trove is, one, the city has control of this, right?
Correct.
And then what are we gonna do? Sell the lot?
I think you, I mean, you have a really nice lot there, you know, a nice corner lot that we could put up for sale. You know, depending on what we have into it, maybe we can recoup our cost, or maybe we can't, you know, I mean, we wanna be realistic for the price of the lot too, but, you know, we keep talking about setting examples and improving the quality of life and stuff in Preston, so it's another step towards that, right? You know? The only thing I question a little bit is I just question, you know, appreciate Marie working with us and give us an opportunity and stuff like that's awesome, but what will our cost be? You know, what is in that we have to do? You know, you have to, you know, what's for materials that have to be taken out before it can be tore down? You know, that has to be tore down, hauled away, you know, backfilled with dirt, you can have a hole in the ground, you know, blah, blah, blah. And once we take that responsibility of it, I don't think it's something you just want sitting there too long either, you know, the liability at that point too. I think we need to act, in my opinion, we should act pretty quickly on it. If we do decide to do this, move forward and get it down, because it's a liability sitting there.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I mean, you know, one thing, it's a little bit more on the city guys. Once the city owns it, they're responsible for mowing and trimming and, you know, if it turns out snow hits, to do the sidewalk, to, you know, that's just one more thing on the.
Secure it, insure it.
Yep, so I'm just more on the plate of maintenance, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, the goal is to remove a deteriorating building, you know, within city limits, and hopefully sell the lot, you know, as a new construction lot, or you know, something along those lines to get new residential, or however, you know, the city decides to move forward there. But to me, you know, I think that would be a good first step. And you know, we talk about other, you know, buildings and stuff around town that, you know, we need to get cleaned up, and you know, we worry about, you know, what it's bringing into town, you know, stuff like that, you know, value and stuff like that. So I think, you know, I think it's up to the city to kind of maybe lead the charge on some of that stuff and try to turn it the other way.
Well, we talked about, you know, when we were doing budgets, we talked about, you know, putting something in there in the future in a budget to have money to allow to do things like this, you know, whether it was to buy, you know, tear something down or buy a property, or tear a trailer out or whatever it is, you know, to do that, and this is a step towards those kinds of things. And you know, what I think we should talk about, just kind of what you brought up, Tyler, if we do this, you know, the idea would be to, again, improve, add another lot to, you know, build on, which would bring, you know, revenue hopefully as far as, you know, continued garbage and gas and electric, you know, more consumption and things like that there. But I think we need to focus on doing that again versus just selling to somebody that wants to add green space to their property. I think we need to focus on it needs to be sold to build on, because we want that revenue, we want those tax dollars, we want those kind of things, not just add green space to somebody else.
Right.
You know, so I think we need to think about that if we're gonna put this investment into it. Otherwise, we're not gonna get return on our investment.
Well, I think it's forward thinking, you know, from the council and from City Hall, you know, to move in that direction and maybe start taking the initiative, you know, when stuff like that comes up, you know, take the initiative to try and find value in stuff like that and try to, you know, we talk, like you said, talk about beautification and all that stuff, and I think that, you know, that goes a long way in that forward thinking, so.
Look what it can do is to some, you know, if we get like, you know, there's a new home going up in an older neighborhood now, you know, you get that bought, and you can get a new home to go up there. What it does to those neighborhoods then too, by getting some new, you know, new homes in those areas and stuff too, that brings up value and it just gives more opportunity, whether it's somebody that wants to, you know, likes the neighborhood they're in, you know, gives them an opportunity to build in that neighborhood then, which frees up another house for another couple to buy. Things we've been talking about for a while now. And it just moves us forward.
I guess I just have a little concern on what it's really gonna cost.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Cause you get it for seems cheap, but that's a lot of cost there to tear that thing down.
It would cost, yeah.
You know. Well, it needs to come down. Looks like it's pretty bad shape, that one wall.
So again, you know, does that just come back to us then, you know, versus selling to somebody else and it doesn't get improved, you know, so do we just need to take that responsibility on to purchase it and take care of it? That kind of comes back to our community too, right?
Right, that comes back, to me, that comes back to the city as well, you know, like you said, taking the initiative to, you know, yeah, there's gonna be cost in it, but the future of it is what the end goal is, you know, hopefully, for that property, so.
Who would we have come and look at to give us a cost on it, if there's things that need to be taken out before it can be tore down, you know, health hazard wise and.
Right. I really don't know, we're just.
I think in Miles there, the Habitat for Humanity was coming into one of their buildings there that they're gonna have torn down and then salvage stuff like that from the building. And then I think they talked about some grants too that were available for demolishing buildings, so.
Yeah, there's stuff out there, as far as, yeah, I'm not sure we get sued.
Are you looking for, do we need to make a motion to accept this, or what are you looking for, Tyler?
Just kind of an okay to continue moving forward and.
Just a verbal that we wanna continue?
This doesn't necessarily lock us in, it's just proceeding with it for now.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the email or the note here on it too? That.
One sec.
Oops, talk. That actually, if we sell it for 2,000, that when things settle down, Marie's actually gonna donate basically
Yeah,
back.
pretty much, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna have just lawyer fees and transaction, pretty much
Yeah.
we'll have it.
Yeah, I mean, I
which she
sure,
doesn't have to do, but that's kind of.
That's awesome.
Yeah. that's great.
Yeah, what a great community member.
Yeah.
So maybe just a statement, go ahead moving forward with,
Yeah.
You make it sound good, you write that down.
Yeah,
stumbling right now.
yeah, basically that's what we're looking for, is just to make sure the council's on board with moving forward with that, proposal from Marie and everybody's good with that.
I'm all for moving forward.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe there is companies that wanna come in and take some of the stuff out, you know, Habitat for Humanity or whatever.
Everybody else good going forward?
Yeah, I'm good, let's move forward on it, that's my take.
yeah, I would agree.
Look at that bigger picture, I think that's, it's gonna cost us some, the big picture. It is.
Rich?
Yeah,
No, my only question is, what we ever done with this lot over here?
well, I just
Yeah.
think about that. Well,
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind selling that
I
lot.
would disagree with you.
Well, maybe that's something when you're talking, we have a wheeler on some more lots, maybe we need to put that on there too. The same thing we talked about, we don't want to just turn green space, we've said that over and over again, but if somebody wanted to build something on it, we were all for it, so maybe we need to
Dead cash, for us.
let our realtor know that, I mean, that's what we've told people who wanna buy it before for green space,
Well,
we
we
want-
have had people interested in buying it.
but we want growth on it.
Right, the council wasn't necessarily, excited on what the future plans probably were gonna be for that, so that's why it didn't, move forward, so.
But if somebody would approach us with a growth opportunity to build something, I think we're all in favor of it
Right.
at that point, that's what we're all about, what we just got done saying, so.
Well, maybe people don't, maybe we need to advertise it.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
I bet a
I
lot of
don't
people
know.
don't know the city
Yeah.
owns that lot.
Right.
And it would be that way.
So maybe we should give it our wheeler and add that to it then.
Right. Yeah. Yep, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, well,
And then, so you can throw a sign up there, but then, again, I think we wanna tell her that, hey, it's for sale, but not green space, we want growth on it.
Okay, well, I think the consensus is we'll move forward with the treasure trove and, I guess we'll wait to hear back on the abatement and the future grants, so. Okay, 13, discuss and consider applying for a DRA grant, up to $50,000 for creating an open community space between Gator Graphics and Christensen Coffee. So this was something, I think we've kind of discussed this, the last couple of years in our budget meetings and our growth meetings, or whatever you wanna call it, vision meetings. To do something maybe with this open area over here, that's just kind of a dull, kind of a dead zone right now. So Teresa, found the grant, DRA grant, they call it a pocket park. And basically, it'd be, the 50,000 would go towards greenery, help me out, who was she talking to from the, Jackson County? The same one who helped us up with the green space up at the West Side Park. The master gardener. I can't think of her name right now. But, she's working with her, to come up with kind of an idea for that over there with plants and, a green space. Maybe a place for like some benches or something, or a picnic table or two or something like that. Just to be more welcoming, for our downtown, try to green it up so it's not, and I think that was kind of the idea with the Myrtle going there too, was to try and help our downtown, kind of liven that up a little bit.
and that's where that gravel is, right?
Right,
Next to the-
Yeah.
right. So,
That's first
That's-
thing you really see when you turn into the downtown, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I guess, we talked about that we have activities uptown, and if people wanna step out of the town hall or something, a place to go sit, or,
Yeah,
if you're having something at the coffee shop or at the library, and you wanna step outside.
yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, it could go towards something, yeah, like with the coffee shop, she wanted to put a little bit outdoor seating out there, something to, to spruce it up and maybe attract, more business to downtown.
So in applying for the grant, do we have to have a detailed plan, or just kind of a general idea of what
Just
we're
a
going
general
for?
idea. I know that there's talk of a possible occasional farmer's market per se with food tables and vendors out there, just to utilize it from time to time.
Right.
When you look at it, so you think it's small, but it's a little bit, quite a bit of space there actually, I
Yeah.
guess, when you start for what we're talking about.
Right. Do the city guys access right there for anything, if we had to do anything for like the power plant?
You can do everything, like when we put the cooler and everything in, everything was done from the back,
Backside,
so.
okay.
They
I
do
would-
use the pass-through.
Yeah, I'd say, I think we'd be all right. Probably a good thing to just check with Ray again, you know, make double check that we don't need to. Again, it depends on what we're putting in, you might still be able to access.
Right, I don't think it'd be
Move the
anything
picnic
extreme.
tables, move some stuff, if you gotta access it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
be
and
able
the
to
thing,
walk. Yeah, I don't think we're taking any equipment in and out that way.
no, no.
But you still has to be visibly, a see-through fence, it can't be like a boarded fence for some reason,
Okay.
security reasons and
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah, see that.
so.
Yeah, so-
Just find a way to dress it up with.
Well, if you had a nice black, fence,
Yeah, well, they did paint it
Paint it,
brown instead of that boring gray.
Yeah, like I said, it's been something, we've discussed off and on, and like I said, trying to improve downtown, any way we can, and
We'll see what she comes up with for
Yeah.
ideas and see
Yeah.
what Grant comes out with and
yep, so this
tell us what we
was,
can do.
something she found and, thought it might be, might be worth applying for, and just see where it goes, and, if we get it, then yeah, we can go from there, so. But, however, anything's better than, I guess, gravel, in my opinion, for downtown.
Well, I mean, we've drawn attention to that spot with the mural,
Right.
so.
Right, and I think that would go a long way,
And I
Time
do know
to
the
that.
50,000 doesn't require any city match, but obviously if the project runs a little more, then that would be our match, but
Right.
the grant itself doesn't.
I would think for that kind of money, there's, do quite a bit in that spot.
Oh, yeah.
I would think so,
I
yeah.
would think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe it has some drainage issues there or something, I'd have to work on something like that. Pavers, that,
Perennial pavers and little bushes and stuff, I think,
Yeah.
so that, water flows through.
Plus with no match, it's no brainer to look into it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, pretty easy grants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the ones you want all day long.
So, okay, I'll ask for a motion then for approval for the, applying for the DRA grant.
I'll make a motion, we, approve applying for the DRA grant to create an opening community space between Gator Graphics and the coffee shop.
Second,
Second.
and roll call please.
Richard Peterson,
Yes.
J.G. Thompson,
Yes.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Adam Wyatt.
Yes.
Okay, 14, discuss and consider ordering a garbage truck, to get our name on the list. So, again, this was something, I think it was brought up in our budget meeting, over the spring, and, talked about how we would probably be, in the market for a new garbage truck here in the next year or two. So I think with the way, those things kind of, the process it takes to get something like that, she went out and, I think her and, I don't know if it was Jack or maybe Ray, well, maybe Eric even, probably Eric, talked to Kilberg, and then she came back with a Kilberg quote, I think, the last time, and then I think we wanted her to get one more quote.
Yeah, and the other one was quite a bit higher, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's money, money too.
yeah.
Let's see something a little more local.
Yeah, so again, that's, where this kinda came, I don't know, I guess I haven't talked to Jesse myself, I don't know what kind of lead time we're looking at on these things, but.
So do we have money for this, or some money for it?
I thought the lead time they said was like 18 months or.
Well, the one says it's 2024 and Jesse's at 24 or 25, so you're talking by the most 18 months. I think everything's about kind of a year out now, kind of thing, but
Mhm.
that's my, I don't know.
As far as the funding, it was the feeling that the garbage fund can handle like 70,000 of it, then we either have to borrow the rest and pay back the loan out of the garbage fund as we get more revenue, or you can set up an internal loan with the other utilities and don't have to.
So it's a 9-year-old truck. Does anybody, have we looked at it? Has anybody on the council looked at it, or, I mean, what, is there issues with it? Is there?
I just got on the council originally when we bought that thing. I think it was my first meeting there and it bought, I don't know. I mean, can it go another year? I don't know, when prices go up.
Prices go up, they do on everything, but that's just the way life is.
I think the thought, from what I remember, was to trade it in while it still had some value to it. I think was kind of the idea behind it.
So it looks like we would get 90,000 trade.
And I don't know what we normally, I don't know if we kind of shoot for 10 years out of a garbage truck, I'm not sure, I guess, but that's kind of.
I don't know what kind of, I haven't been up close to it. You know, but if we only have 75 in there and we gotta come up with 160,000, where's the remainder of that coming from? So 80-some thousand dollars, we gotta come up with somewhere else.
More than likely, I'd say you probably dip out of a couple different of the utilities and maybe spread it around a little bit.
But is this a priority over everything?
Yeah, I don't
Is it a number one, obviously it's gotta be a number one priority to be able to do this.
Yeah, I don't.
And we keep talking about, you know, coming together with what are our equipment priorities.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are.
I've never seen the list yet.
I'm just afraid to all of a sudden jump on this one when we really don't know what our priorities are.
we gotta look at other trucks too.
We got other trucks, we got squad cars, they're, you know, 18 months out too, 12 months. We got other, like I said, I don't know if this is top of the list, and we haven't seen a list.
Probably one of the newest pieces of equipment we have. Again, we use it more
I
now,
was just
through
gonna say,
recycling, you know, and it's in all the seasons, I get it,
Right.
it's a top valued piece of equipment.
Right.
And we pride ourselves in having all our own entities, you know, I know we talked about a few years ago, do we contract this out, do we do what we want? I like having our own garbage, don't get me wrong, but I think just to say we need to buy a new garbage truck without checking priorities and everything else, that's necessarily what maybe we should do.
I think capacity was a point on it because of how much it holds, and plastic continues to grow, and we already take multiple trips, you know. I think the capacity would be better with this one.
30 yard.
It would maybe save wear and tear as far as,
What is ours for, it's a 20 yard, this next, the ones in quarter are 25 yards. That's my own question.
Yeah, and I don't know for sure, I mean, but I would say, like you said, it probably would be towards the top of on the priority list, just because, like you said, it does get used multiple times every week. But again, I haven't seen ours now, and I don't know if, you know, if we're just trying to, you know, kind of beat the band here and get something out of it while we can, I guess that's probably my take on it, so. But again, it's up to the council to decide, you know, if that's something they feel strongly about, that it is a priority, or it's not, or, you know. So maybe it'd be good to have, you know, Jack or Eric in here, you know, if we table it, put it on the next council meeting, maybe it'd be a good idea to have one of them guys here, and they can.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, like, well, why do we need it, you know, is it
Right.
rusted out, are we having a bunch of issues with it, you know? I mean, if it's just because it's worth something now, I don't know. Again, where's that money gonna come from? Is it, again, what is our top, you know, we probably have 30 pieces of equipment, what's our top 10 that need replaced, you know?
Right.
And again, if it's gonna come out of other funds, we know we talk about a lot of things with other funds, we talk about, you know, with the church, about things up there, you know,
Yeah.
so what, and not just equipment, but priorities in general for that
Right.
$80-some thousand, you know?
So
And again, we have to keep up on our equipment, I completely understand that.
Seems like you can put a lot of money in equipment though, and keep it going too.
Yeah. I think it'd just be good to have a little bit more context on, you know, why, you know, it could very well be justified as the most important. It's at
Exactly.
the top of the list, they just don't have, you know,
Yep.
that info right now compared to everything else.
Yep, is it 12 or 18 or 24 months out, what, you know, what budget would it have to come out of, things like that, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that, I think we should table this, and we need some more info, and maybe get Jack, or whoever, you know, probably Eric.
Yeah, I'd say Eric,
Eric,
Yep.
he's the one who drives it every day, have him bring it up here.
yeah, bring it up at the council meeting, doesn't have to be necessarily the next one, but take the time to get the information we're asking for, not just rush into it right away, and bring it up to the next council meeting, you know, when we talk about it, and show it to us.
Okay, well, if everybody's good with that, we'll table it and, put it on the next agenda.
Tell Eric he's got some work to do.
Mhm.
I'm assuming price is probably gonna be good for
I'm sure it's
a while.
30, yeah, I don't see how long it's good for, but.
Well, I think after I see it and hear from Eric, I think I'll have a better decision.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, you'd be more informed.
Yep.
Yep, I would disagree at all.
See, whenever he can make whatever council meeting, obviously if he can't make the next one, maybe the one after,
Okay.
be nice to.
Okay, so we'll table that, and then, so we'll jump down to 15, other business. Teresa has an idea on a sign, I think again, still kind of going with the same, logo that we talked about, you know, burning it out of the metal, and then having it powder coated, but I guess I would like to see something kind of, you know, mocked up, and I don't know if it's possible or not, but I guess to me to just, I think kind of what I'm envisioning from what I was getting from her was kind of just the sign, you know, on some posts, you know, just kind of to replace the other signs. I guess I would like to see something maybe a little bit, maybe to have the sign, you know, put on something, you know, to have something kind of a background to it, you know, whether it's stone or wood or, you know, whatever we decide, I guess, I'm not sure. I don't know what's been discussed on that, but that's kind of my,
Yeah,
They're
there's-
just looking for options on forming the cement.
yeah.
Rock looking.
Yes.
Make it look like,
Yeah,
and you can get dyed cement, just so it's not
right,
your
right.
gray, and make it kind of look more like a rock with
right,
very much less the cloud.
right. Something maybe to just as kind of a background, you know, to have that sign mounted onto was my kind of thinking, but I don't, whatever, you know.
You see a lot of neat things when you go into cities, I think, you know, have something that's
A little more
maintenance-free,
eye-catching.
so to speak, would be very
Right.
important in my mind.
Yeah.
Can they use these bricks from the treasure trove? There you go.
There's an idea.
I'll haul it out, you get billed on the weekends.
Haven't made a brick day in my life.
Volunteered.
But I would like to see, I'm all for getting new signs, I really am, but I'd like to see something.
Yeah, I do.
But-
Yes, like some
Some
sort of
Get-
rendering to show us what
Yeah.
we're.
Give us some options
Right.
and some prices.
Right.
Right.
And I don't know, I mean, is that something Preston Growth and Development, have they kind of been, I think
Nancy
Teresa
Peter's kind of been
involved in it?
trying to get more ideas from other people that do cement work, and
Okay,
maybe
I
she'll
think
have.
I think that'd be important to get, you know, this is, you know, community involvement, a little
Right.
bit, with some ideas from the community, what are some good things to use,
Right.
what represents our city, and,
right.
you know.
Yeah, we can always move forward with the metal sign and then just decide how we want to mount it.
Right.
Yeah, it's got a pretty big metal sign.
It is gonna be big. Yeah, I don't know that we necessarily need to go that big.
Pieces.
That-
I mean, I think you want it big enough so people can obviously read it.
You do, yeah.
And light it, you know.
Light it.
I think there's power out there already. There's lights on the old ones.
They're overdue from.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they need updating, no
Yeah.
doubt, yeah. To me, that, you know, the sign on some kind of, you know, some kind of a background would be, you know, more contemporary look, you know, than what we have now.
I want more than just on some post.
Right, right.
I don't like that, some
Right.
record block, I don't, yeah, some cement. So. Well, can you bring us stuff back, I guess, to us? No.
Bring some ideas.
We're pretty meaty, aren't we?
Yeah, you know who's leaving in a week or two?
Well, I mean, I think
got
the
time
signs
to-
are important, but I don't think they're like.
Right, they're not,
Right.
they're not, yeah, they're not at all. So, and then, the review process for the new hire, personnel will meet tonight after the meeting, and then we'll kind of go through, the applications that we have, probably decide on who we would like to interview, first, or if I guess we just need to decide if we wanna interview them all, if we wanna select a few, and go from there. And then I guess decide on how they wanna handle it as far as just personnel, whole council, that route, so. But we do have, seven applicants.
Actually 10.
Well, we have 10? Oh, okay, okay.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, so we have a good list to choose from. So that's a good sign, so.
So obviously, me and Matt are personal, what are your two, or your guys' opinion on a whole council interviewing everybody, or do you want?
I talked to Teresa last week and Cheryl, and I think that was kinda, I think everybody agreed that might be good, just to, for the sake of, hopefully filling the position as quick as possible, not having to wait to come back to, bring it
Just
back.
have one spokesman per se, you'll have your list of questions and not having random questions from everyone.
Right.
Just have
Right.
One person kind of narrating questions and everybody just listening and,
And everybody gets a feel right off the get-go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So
you
maybe we
bring
can
it
narrow
back
it
and then
down,
have to
I don't know.
do a dog and pony show, everybody just hears it one time.
Right, exactly, and then we can go into a closed session for each, candidate, and then at the end, we can open it up and have a public discussion and decide, how to move forward.
If they
Keep-
request it, some
Keep the
do.
process moving along and it would have support of the whole council.
Right.
Yeah, to me, that's the way I'm leaning, I would like to have everybody involved and.
Do you still want to try interviewing next Wednesday and Thursday then this week?
When?
This week.
I think it's this week.
Yeah, that was,
Well, that was my other thing, it's like, I think we're almost gonna have to narrow it down, cause I don't know if we can get
10 is going to take 2
Ten's
days.
too much.
Ten's gonna be a lot.
And there's some death.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be.
even if you give them a half hour each, I mean, that's, we've got
5
2
hours.
nights.
5 hours if you give all 10 half hour.
Well, yeah, plus all your discussion. and-
Yeah,
That's a day.
It's a day.
yeah.
that's all day.
And yeah, I'd say we go through them and.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the personnel committee will do tonight, is, if everybody's good with that, kind of go through and maybe select 3 or 4 of them.
That's pretty short notice to tell people they need to take time off to come do for an interview.
Well, I think that's what, did you guys put anything in their packet or tell them when we did
I think
that?
it was in their packet.
Yeah, I thought the posting said something about interviews would begin this
The
week.
following week.
Yeah.
I know Cheryl wants to move along, cause.
Right,
Oh, I agree.
yeah.
I'm just wondering, can we get the full council on another night?
Yeah, I could be available both nights this week if needed. I don't know how everybody else.
Yeah, I could be too.
I think the idea when we kind of talked about that was to
Start
try
at
and
6, we should be done by midnight.
move forward, so we could, if we get somebody hired, maybe catch it while Teresa's still here, was kind of the idea. That's why we kind of
Right.
sped it up a little bit.
Oh. Makes sense.
Well, we'll see how we can narrow it down.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe there's only a couple.
Maybe there's 8 or maybe there's 2.
Yeah, right. Not saying they're out of it, but maybe just,
Yeah.
we take these couple
start with
Right.
them.
We start with them, and
Yeah.
if we only do 3 or 4, then and if we're not
And
satisfied.
speaking of that, if, one of the ones that definitely would probably get an interview, what about their salary expectations are way up there? Do you want us to contact them first, or, I guess it really don't matter?
Let's figure that out.
Yeah, that's something to discuss
Okay.
in person.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all